Welcome. I'm back to make Alison Roman's spiced chickpea stew with coconut and turmeric. This is a delicious dish. I've made it several times. First thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of olive oil in the saucepan to heat up and just get the onions and garlic going before I talk to you about this gorgeous dish. This is the dish that I mentioned yesterday that apparently broke the internet because it was so popular, and you can see why. And it's really easy as well. It's also very comforting. There's something very grounding, very earthy, very creamy. It's one of those dishes that kind of provides comfort, which is great because I'm having a sort of a weird morning. You know, yesterday when I made the stock for this dish, it was a very different story. Actually, I'm going to keep these to make another stock. Yeah, yesterday was a very different story. I was feeling it was one of those days where I was, on top of the world and bouncing with energy. Today, different story. There is a full moon coming up in 2 days, so that could be contributing to this slight feeling of unease, feeling slightly anxious. And interestingly, I'm going to try and do this quietly. The first time I had this dish was when a friend served it to me. And I was in a similar kind of space, just needing comfort. Anyway, maybe it's that dish that shows up when it's needed, when comfort is needed. Okay, how many onions does she say? 1 large yellow onion. Now, I bought dried chickpeas, and I found these black chickpeas during the week. I had never seen or heard of black chickpeas. I saw them and thought, I have to try those. I don't know if it's going to affect the overall dish. Oh, sorry. I'm crying now because of the onions. Okay, as you can see, I've kind of gone overboard with the amount of chickpeas. So she uses 2 cans for this recipe. I reckon I've got about 6 here. So I'm making 3 times the amount. I might just do 4 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to double. No, excuse me. Now, just because I'm cooking 3 times the amount of chickpeas won't mean that I'm going to triple the amount of other ingredients. Okay, I'm still crying from chopping the onion, so just bear with me. I don't know what it says about my life that finding black chickpeas evokes excitement. Maybe it's a reflection of life in the burbs. No. Okay, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. But as I like multiples of 3, I'm going to do another one. And they're kind of small anyway. Oh, don't do what I'm doing. Maybe if you want to, do. So I've chopped all this garlic, which I'm going to add. So the first stage is just frying some onion, here's some skin, onion, garlic, and ginger in the saucepan. I did come across a title recently, The Best Way to Peel Ginger, which I didn't actually read. So I'm going to just peel it the way I always do. Sometimes I take some skin off my fingers, so just be careful. I don't want to bleed on camera. Okay, here we go, chopping again. Okay, ginger, finely chopped, going into the saucepan to just fry gently together. This is the stock that I made yesterday. Way more than I actually need, but it turned out really lovely. And gorgeous. I take back what I said yesterday, which was that you could replace the stock with water. but I think that would be such a huge shame. So yeah, make the stock. So I'm going to add the turmeric now. The onions, garlic, and ginger have been frying nicely for about 5 minutes. So the recipe states 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric. So I'm going to do 4, I think. Come on. Okay. Just loosen this up a little bit. You know what? This is where I stop counting. Okay. Yeah, do not copy me with the spices. Chili pepper. How much chili pepper or chili flakes? 1 teaspoon. Okay, got to be really careful with these. I'm going to do 2, almost 2. And as you can see, I'm still streaming from the onions. They're really strong. I've done the cold water on my wrists to try and stop it, but I don't know. Maybe I just needed a good cry. Okay, then you add the chickpeas. Now, so we fry the chickpeas for about 8 to 10 minutes until they get a bit browned and crisp, but obviously mine are already black, so they won't get anything. They'll just get crisp, but they're already crisp. Well, they're already hard. Okay, she says to bash the chickpeas a bit and mash them up, which I'm doing now with a potato masher, but the black chickpeas don't break down like the regular ones. Okay, so far I would recommend to just use regular chickpeas, not the black ones. These are harder work. Okay, now we add coconut milk and stock. Where's my tin opener? Oh. I'm not sure how many cans of this I'm going to use. I think she's got 2 in the recipe. Yeah, she's got 2. Let's see. I'll just see how they look once they're in. Two might actually be enough. How can that be? And I've used so much more chickpeas. Okay, I'm going to stick with just 2 cans for now. Okay, so at this point we let it simmer for 30 to 35 minutes, stirring occasionally just to make sure it's not sticking, and tasting. And this is one of these dishes you can sort of play with, depending. What she actually says is, determining perfect stew thickness is a personal journey. Oh, I love that. Okay, so stock actually gets added at the same time as the coconut milk. I'm just having one of those days. She uses 2 cups. I'm just going to put 2 cups. And just, yeah, let it simmer. I'm going to chop kale now. She also suggests mint to serve. And honestly, I didn't buy any mint. I couldn't bring myself to buy those little bunches of mint. I did have practically a field of mint in my garden, which I naively planted. I didn't realize quite how monstrous it gets. It took over this entire patch and just kept spreading like crazy until I was practically losing sleep. So I painstakingly dug the entire patch of mint up to gauges because it just sprouts everywhere. Put some in a large pot where it promptly died. So now I have no source of mint. So this is looking gorgeous. Can you see? I actually love the black chickpeas against the yellowy, goldeny, turmeric-y coconut sauce. Oh, it smells amazing. This is such a forgiving dish. You've seen how I have not stuck to the recipe, and it's still gorgeous. And while that is simmering, I have to just share this with you. I'm going to pour all my excess stock. This is how much stock I made. Probably enough for about 6 dishes, different dishes, soups. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. Oh, this gives me so much pleasure. I'm going to seal these all up and freeze them. So the next time I'm having a day like this, I can just whip up something relatively quickly and easily that is full of grounding and comforting stock. It's been simmering for 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20. I'm going to add the greens. If you are using chard or spinach or something soft like that, they'll only take a few minutes to soften. But as I'm using kale, it'll just need a little bit longer. But again, just cook it for as long as you like, depending on what texture and consistency you want. Oh, it smells so good. I'm feeling more grounded just from making this, and I haven't even eaten any yet. So I'm looking forward to lunch. So I've switched it off. It's been simmering for some time. It's not as creamy as when you make it with regular chickpeas, because the reason that you bash the chickpeas is to release their starch, which thickens the stew, and that hasn't really happened. I mean, maybe you could bash these up if you really went for it, but I don't really feel like it today. Don't have much bash in me. But this is smelling amazing, so let me taste it. And I'm going to eat it without the mint because I don't have any, as I said. Thank you, Alison, for providing the most delicious comfort in a bowl right when it's needed.